Wait, hold on. Where the hell are we? Why are we so high up? What is going on?
This is all a dream. Just relax. Just go with it.
Today we're checking out the brand new DJI Action 4. We have Samuel with us.
What's cracking like a booty smacking?
Now, a couple of things that make this Action 4 interesting, but I would say the biggest is the bigger sensor, 1/1.3 inch, when most action cameras are half-inch sensors. So overall, that should give us better image quality. And also, there's an ultra-wide f2.8 lens in here. So this lens combined with the bigger sensor should give us really good low-light capability. And then Sam's over here rocking the Insta360 Go 3. Oh, why are we sinking?
Oh, I touched the water.
Oh, it's really cool! Oh! And also, we're getting D-Log M on here, which is nice. It's not the full-on D-Log, but it's still 10-bit, and it's more capable than the D-Cinelike that we got on the Action 3. But yeah, this is how the picture looks uncolor graded. I also want to test out the Canon V10 in this video, which Carrie is using down there on the boat. This is awesome, by the way.
We should shoot all our intros out here.
I know, right? I'm actually digging this grip that I'm using. Well, it's actually not even a grip. It's like a necklace. So we'll switch to the Insta360 so you can see it. So this I'm using as just like a vlog grip right now. But also it's soft enough to wear it as like a necklace. Is that the Iron Man mount right there?
Yeah.
We're entering low light territory. Oh, look who it is.
What's up?
Are you gonna show us how to destroy some arcade games? Based on appearance, this Action 4 doesn't look very different from the Action 3, but that much larger sensor under the hood is something I'm super excited about. Bigger sensors usually mean better performance at high ISOs. It doesn't get as noisy or as grainy or blotchy. Now, as much as we all love GoPros, the pioneers of action cameras, we've all seen how they look at night. So the idea of a action camera that can perform well after hours is pretty cool. Now, one of the first things I noticed when comparing the Action 3 and 4 is even at the same exposure, the Action 4 seems to be giving us less motion blur, probably because it's shooting at a faster shutter speed, and it's able to achieve that by shooting at a higher ISO. Now, yes, we do typically like to have a certain amount of motion blur, but typically not if it's going to be digitally stabilized afterwards, which is something we're always doing with action cameras. Then looking up into the dark ceiling, definitely noticing a much cleaner image here. We're also getting a lot more dynamic range too, partially probably because of the D-Log M. Taking a closer look at some of this footage, definitely noticing that the 4 doesn't clip the highlights nearly as fast. We see a lot more color up there when it's bright, and also just a lot more detail down there in the shadows. Now, if I take it off of D-Log, I can enable this option for low light image enhancement, which is a real-time denoiser. It does take more processing power, so it's not available in faster frame rates or the 4:3 4K, but it does make for some clean, straight out of camera low light. Can I digitally zoom during a shot? I can. Okay. Carrie is going insane trying to get it.
Look how much it's hanging off the ledge.
Carrie said to cut her off if she can't get it in the next 2 coins. One coin. Oh!
I'm shaking a little bit. Why am I shaking?
Now, I gotta say, the biggest competitor to anything you carry around in your pocket has gotta be your phone, right? I mean, you're already carrying it with you, so if you're gonna carry around another thing that you have to charge and keep track of, and it's expensive and can break and you can lose it, then there better be a good reason to carry that extra thing around. But check out this footage where I compare it to my iPhone 14 Pro's ultra wide angle camera. Now, this has got to be a new achievement for action cameras, because before, action cameras had their advantages, which were durability, size, and they're wearable, right, over your phone. But now with this larger sensor, it kind of becomes a pretty awesome nightlife camera as well. Now, to be fair, iPhone's 1X camera is going to be the best low light performer for the phone. So if we compare those, they become a much closer head-to-head comparison. And the 1X lens is a great lens and sensor combo for low light, but the downside is that you're just stuck in that tighter angle, and it's pretty tough to vlog with because it's on the back of the phone. And then of course there's the iPhone selfie camera, which just does not look good. I think that's the biggest thing that iPhones need to work on, is a better lens and sensor for that front facing camera. We could definitely see ourselves in the iPhone, but yeah, like when we switch over from the iPhone over to the Action 4,
that's clean.
That is bright.
That's a rich blue too.
Yeah,
it's nice and vivid.
Is that, I mean, that's the bigger sensor and f2.8 lens right there. And I've also been actually pretty impressed with the audio quality coming out of the internal microphone on here. I'm actually curious about how it sounds right now, because there is a little breeze right now, but this seems to be actually okay with small breezes. Well, of course, when it's windy, you're definitely gonna need some sort of wind protection. So actually, if you listen to the audio from the parasailing, it's your first time parasailing?
It is. It's a lot more relaxing than bungee jumping.
So I use the internal recordings out of the DJI mics. It's your first time parasailing?
It is. It's a lot more relaxing than bungee jumping.
What's nice about those mics is that you can attach like the fluffy wind cover mic things. You know, one thing I wish we could do is take these like cover things that you can attach to the DJI mics and attach it into the microphones on this camera by itself, so that it does become a decent vlogging solution even when it's windy. Kind of like what Sony does with their ZV-1, where you can just slide that mic cover on. Oh, you know what'd be cool is if someone made a cage for this camera that had a built-in wind cover like this. So like, check this out. So this is the Canon V10. Now Small Rig makes this little accessory that just attaches up top. This is one of the cameras that I was gonna make a video on, but never quite got around to it because I really like the concept of it, right? Like just how simple it is and how comfortable it is to hold like that. You get your little reference display, great Canon colors, and just this little kickstand is really cool. I did try shooting a little vlog on this, so here, let me roll some of that footage. We're back here at Speed Vegas, and Sam's gonna be driving a Lamborghini. You ever driven a Lamborghini?
No, I could barely spell it.
On this one, it's a Ferrari 488.
Now you probably noticed that the footage is super shaky, and that's because all image stabilization was completely turned off. And the reason why it's turned off is because that is the default setting. I was kind of trying to just see what this camera looks like if you just pulled it straight out of the box and turned it on and hit the record button.
All right, man, behave in there. Well, look at our boy over there. Woo!
That's the beauty of action cameras, right? They have the best digital image stabilization.
127 miles an hour. Unwind to the right, roll on the throttle, look to the end where you want the car to be.
Man, that was on a different level. One thing to drive a Ferrari, but to drive a Ferrari around a track like this, you're gonna have fun. The magnetic pendant ended up not being the best angle for this. I wish we had something higher up so we could see down the track. But I do think the advantage of the Go 3 is how small it can be. So you could just keep it simple and clip it onto your hat if you wanted to, or magnetically attach it to places.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is stabilization enhanced. Let's see how it looks.
So how fast was the Lamborghini? Was it pretty fun?
Bro, it's way faster than my Civic.
I think that's Bomac over there. Sam's about to go drifting right here. Also, this camera battery is about to die, so internal battery on here. So should bring a battery bank or something like that if you plan on doing that. Oh man, I just got bit by a mosquito.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
All right, you're gonna make him shit his pants, right?
Do my best. All right, guys, ready?
We are ready. Yep. You get to do this all the time, huh?
Yes, 5 days a week.
For someone that loves drifting, is that like the dream job? Of
That is the dream job. First, you know, you don't pay for tires.
How often do you guys swap out those tires?
Every day we change them to new, but the most I've done is 8 tires in the rear. That was a really busy day.
8 tires in the rear in a day?
In a day, yeah.
But anyways, the main reason why we're out here at Speed Vegas in the first place is to get some FPV footage. So by the way, the Go 3 is waterproof as long as it's removed from its housing, and the Action 4 is also waterproof to, I believe, 18 meters. Stopping by Best Buy to see what's popular. Look at these drones here. Dang, DJI's got like a pretty big footprint here at Best Buy now. RX 100 with the super zoom.
Wait, is this the ZV-1?
ZV-1's been out for a while. There's like a newer version. Oh, wait, oh, here, ZV-1 Mark II. We actually tested this out for a little bit. It actually sounded like it was a very interesting one because it had a wide angle lens, f1.8. So it is nice having zoom lenses, and that 1 inch makes it pretty good for low light. So we took it to a Black Keys concert, and I was planning on making a video about it, but I just didn't love the picture quality out of it.
I think it was weird that it automatically came with that face filter, the beauty filter.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that like having that feature, but having it on by default, I remember like looking at the footage and being like, what the hell is going on? Sony obviously makes some of the best hardwares and cameras out there, but I think for me to use a Sony, it has to have 10-bit because I want some flexible files out of it. I want to be able to color grade it, and it gives me that control. But when it's 8-bit, then I kind of have to live with a lot of the colors that come straight out of the camera. And when it comes to straight out of camera color, I feel like Canon kind of takes the win for that. Oh, but look at this. Action 3.
Is that gonna sound good without any microphone, or?
You know, honestly, the sound quality out of this camera has been sounding pretty good so far. on it. Like, I mean, right now I'm not using any external microphones or anything like that. I'm literally just holding the action camera by itself naked.
I like that it's small. I could just go like this. I don't feel weird at all talking to myself. Because you have a big camera, then you're like, do I even want to record right now?
But yeah, how's vlogging on this camera looking? Pretty terrible lighting here. I'm gonna switch to my phone here. So, comparison. Phone picture quality and sound, and action camera quality picture and sound. Which one is better? But I am using the front-facing camera, which always sucks. But anyways, I have been a pretty big fan ever since DJI came out with this magnetic mount, though. You know, just a real quick magnetic release, and then it locks into place, and I can switch between different platforms: helmet mount, car mount, bike mount. So right now I'm shooting completely unstabilized, and when I do that, it stores the gyro data, so I could use something like GyroFlow to stabilize the footage afterwards in post. So I'll do a little split screen of before and after GyroFlow, and I'll shake the camera around a little bit. Sam, you're very close to the end right there. If you fell backwards, that would not be a good day.
Well, what are you, my mom? I'll do what I want.
Here, I'll catch it.
Okay, here we go. Woo, nice catch. But yeah, we could do an unboxing like this, all right? Check this out. Rode Wireless Me. So a lot of FPV pilots will have a stick cam where they hold it like this. So that would actually be kind of cool like that, huh? Okay.
Or I could use this instead of holding the camera on you. Like this.
Slowly turning into a cameraman. First person view camera. Do you have wireless mics?
I don't.
Okay, well, these are yours now because they're not as good as what we have. Rode makes some solid stuff. You know, I really want something with internal recording, and I also like being able to record 2 microphones into 1 camera. But if you're okay with just 1 microphone and you plan on being within range of the camera, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna put this on the camera here. So say some stuff.
Hi, it's me, Sam. Your friendly neighborhood Mexican.
Now when it comes to slow motion, we get 4K 120 and Full HD at 240. So we're gonna go ahead and recreate that Top Gun beach scene.
Mine is the 6-pack.
All right, let's go ahead and look at some comments from the last video. Sam and Gene in the desert is seriously some of the best content I have ever seen. Man, that was brutal to film, not gonna lie.
I've never felt drier in my life. Like, my lips are bleeding.
Yeah, like it was 112 degrees and no shade in sight.
Can I just say how happy I am to have Sam back? Love that dude. Yay. Love you too, bro.
You were busy doing the set life for a while.
Definitely different pace.
Yeah.
Here is very chaotic and
yeah. SkyTouch says, I was concerned about the smaller sensor, but the image quality looks awesome. Yeah, so that is actually something that I did record in the last video, but it didn't make the final cut. I might as well just add in that deleted scene. And at first I thought maybe it's kind of a downgrade for the wide angle lens because before we had a 1-inch sensor, but actually I would actually say it's still an upgrade because by having that slightly smaller sensor, we're actually able to get a faster lens on here. So it's a f1.7 lens on the wide angle. So I always prefer a smaller sensor with a better lens than a bigger sensor with a slower lens. Overall thoughts on this Action 4, honestly, it may be currently my favorite action camera at the moment.
the low light is really good on this camera. Man, you could just take it anywhere now.
But it is almost time for GoPro to put out an action camera too. So I am curious on what they're gonna come out with.
Anyways, should we go work on our tan? Look at our farmer stand.
See ya, like and subscribe and stuff. Thanks, guy, bye.